Welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are in a system with a main world that is simply known as Lucky Find. It was the home of a colony that was set up by the Tenepal Alliance, and it has been hit by a pretty well targeted asteroid strike. And like when I say pretty well targeted, like it landed right on the colony. And the big question is, what are the odds of that? And in addition to that, they did find the on its incoming route. Evidently, it tore apart the few ships that the Tenepal had in orbit around Lucky Find, and then play whatever this asteroid was. Placed some robotic units that were quite aggressive, hidden and waiting
Yeah,
in the
I
wreckage.
hit it with my bag.
And so
I,
they have gone down. They have rescued Randolph and Mel have gone down and with Bocephus and Happy, and rescued some survivors from this asteroid impact. And meanwhile, up on Deepnight Revelation, when they came in, there was a Sovereigndom's ship from the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli, and they initially accused Revelation of throwing rocks at their colony, and the
Yeah, right.
right, yeah, exactly, yeah, it's all BS. They
It's
have
our colony, even though we've never been here before.
right, and so they are now actually they've been kind of muscled into agreeing to talk and are aboard Revelation with Sarda, and he is where we left off. They
Oh,
were at the point where he was debating whether or not he wanted to introduce them to the delegates that he has aboard from the Erline worlds and from the Tenepal Alliance, and things could
Actually, the
get.
first thing I want to do is bring them to the jump drives.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and it seemed like there were people that were interested in our jump drives in that delegation.
Oh yes, they
And
are very interested. The two thing, well, the three things that they are most interested in. Number one, of course, being from the Sovereigndoms, they are very interested in your weaponry. Number two, your
guns.
yes, guns, guns, and guns. They're also interested in your power plants, which you've already shown them an example of some of the power plants, and then of course the last one being your jump and maneuver drives. Before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And today we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes wonderful beard products such as balms, oils, butters, beard wash, co-wash, all manner of beard-related products. They have a women's line under the FableBeauty.com label, and all of their, not that women have beards, they have stuff for women, like hair stuff and shave oils and the stuff. Women that want to stink pretty should go to FableBeauty.com, and they have their all of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. Tonight I'm wearing the hero beard balm, which is a mix of um, like pipe tobacco and a light cologne. But they have many different scents, and I recommend going through and finding one that would suit your needs. If you're a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one get one free option, so you can go to fablebeardco.com, create an account, and if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters when checking out, you can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and you'll get that second one for free. We also have a merch store via Zazzle. Um, we've got hoodies and T-shirts and a fleece blanket that comes in 3 sizes. There's a beer stein, buttons, and all manner of fun things that you can show off your nerddom as you are out and about the town when you leave your house. And 100% of the proceeds from that store goes directly back into the channel. It helps us pay for things like our Roll20 Pro subscription, our Incarnate subscription, all the little nitpicky things that seem to add up rather quickly. And so if you want to help us out, go get yourself a t-shirt, and we appreciate everything you do for it. I am having a sale on Old School Essentials Brawnhaven campaign setting products. The Brawnhaven campaign setting, the Tacit Antylus's Tantalizing Tower Adventure and Sourcebook, and the Brawnhaven Adventure Bundle and the Mountain Adventure Bundle are all 20% off through June 2nd. They are available on DriveThruRPG, so if you want to get into Old School Essentials and play in the Brawnhaven campaign setting, head on over to DriveThruRPG and take advantage of that. That will be on sale through June 2nd. Okay, so, Sarda, you said you wanted to kind of show these guys...
Yeah, the jump drive command, and basically pull up logs of our last jumps and have those be translated in the languages they speak so that they can look at the jump logs and see the distances we've traveled and, you know, the amount of time it's taken us. And make it very clear when we arrived in this system with the jump log from that particular jump.
Let's see, 2, 3, and deck 4, part of deck 4. So, yeah, if I remember correctly, you were on deck 2. And so, coming down here
Yep.
into the engineering section, these guys are probably for the first time since they've been aboard. I mean, even when you showed them the power plant, and you only showed them one of the smaller power plants, this is the first time that they are almost silent, except for the fact that, you know, the drives are, you know, you're in engineering, so it's not entirely silent down here, or back here. They're in awe of the fact that your jump drives take up 3 decks. I mean, these are... It really is, you know, until you look at the deck plans, it really is. This deck plan in particular is really quite awe-inspiring of giving you an idea of exactly how freaking big Revelation is. I mean, this is a big boat, and so yeah, they are in absolute awe. And so you're bringing up plans showing them, or not plans. You're bringing up maps, or you've brought up maps and shown them
Maps
how far you've traveled.
Yeah, maps in the jump logs to show like when we jumped, when we arrived in each location, so that, you know, if
Gonna
they...
show 6 years worth of jumps.
Well, I mean, I'm going to focus on the last 5 or 6, specifically the one that we just did to get here,
Right.
so that if they notice we couldn't have possibly thrown the meteorite at their planet, we weren't here.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And so basically, you know, go over how, you know, the jump forward capability and the fact that we jump from this system directly here, you know, and so, you know, show them the route we took, you know, explain what we're doing, and, you know, how big a bubble that we have to create with these jump drives.
Go ahead and go ahead and make a persuasion plus. Persuasion plus your choice, either social or charm.
Yeah, definitely social. God damn it.
Woof. So they are...
Yeah,
I mean, on the one hand, well, I guess I need to... I guess I can't say anything directly at them yet. And look at these guys. Well, evidently you're more persuasive than their engineering skill. I mean, the, so this particular delegation isn't, they're not really, um, they're not engineers.
They're not techies,
They're not techies.
so they wouldn't have known if that was faked or not.
I mean, they have. I would imagine that just like in our current society, and coming from, now, keep in mind this is coming from a computer uh, industry background, and so it's really hard for me not to laugh when I say this. It can be safely assumed that every person you meet has at least some computer experience. It should be expected they at least know where the on button is. Now, hand to God, I have met people where I question that they can even that they could even wipe their ass unless they had directions. Right? I've met those people, but I would think that in a tech level 9 or 10 society, especially people that use starships regularly, they would know a jump drive when they saw it. At the very least, they would have the basics of, how it works. And so they are quite impressed. And the correct
And
point
they
of
want to steal the ship.
well, correct point of contact. He is suitably impressed, and he says, a how is he going to put it? Because you've tried to explain to him that in its past, Revelation was a warship. And you explained to him it was
Correct.
refit as an exploration vessel. He doesn't necessarily believe that. He, just the if you hadn't taken the route that you'd have taken, if you'd instead gone along the edge of the rift through the Harate space, the Aslan wouldn't have fucking believed you either. But for different reasons. They're just,
Well, I mean, they're worried about their home world too. They're going to protect
Right.
their back door.
Right. And so yeah, he says, he makes a comment about how jump capability of a warship of this nature would allow your species to extend their rulership, in for a vast distance. And
That's correct.
You immediately get that he, for the first time since meeting him, this isn't so much a case of him blustering or, going around. You actually pick up a hint of nervousness, like, oh shit, these guys can really move, and clearly you are much higher technology than he's ever seen by many generations.
By now, I've gotten reports from planet side as to what's been going on.
Yes.
So I'm going to just mention, it seems like we've deactivated several drones that were down there that appear to be very aggressive, appear to have maybe come in with a meteorite. We're going to be able to analyze them, determine who programmed them. So
The robots, not drones.
yeah, the robots. These.
Yeah, they're autonomous.
So when you say that, his head kind of perks up, and he looks at you, and he says, these robots, I would imagine, you are finding that they greatly resemble and he motions to himself. He says, uh, Erline.
Yes, they
No, he
do.
wouldn't. He wouldn't say Erline. He resembles. He says resembles myself.
Yeah, it's a good design for a six-legged creature.
He says I can assure you that, and he's just trying to head this off at the pass. He says I can assure you that those drones do not belong to the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli.
So you've encountered them before.
He says, oh yes.
Where?
He says here, but we've encountered them in a few other places as well.
Okay, and you've only encountered them here since the meteorite hit, or before that?
Well, we showed up after the asteroid impact.
Right.
He says, but they were already here when we arrived. He says, my ship. He says, if you would like to tour my ship, I can take you on a tour of my vessel, and we can show you the damage that these nasty robots.
Oh, I
caused us to
believe.
occur.
I believe you. If you've been fighting them for a while, I believe you. I mean, we're gonna simply still look at what we can determine from the programming. Most of the stuff is fairly simple to analyze, so should be able to take a look at them as well. Let's see, what else did we want to see on the tour? And I'll go back to tour mode.
Go back to tour mode.
Let you get down to the other folks on the planet.
Yeah, you can think about where you want to take them next. Though, it is good. Just a second. I had something else in mind, but I think this is going to work better. You get a call from the bridge. Private communication. You can, of course, pick it up in your comm dot.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Your mobile comm. I doubt you would want anybody else to listen in on this kind of thing. And they are picking up that there is it just happened within the last 2 minutes that there was a incoming jump, and it was two Tenepal naval vessels have jumped into the system.
All right.
Actually, everybody.
How big are they?
So Tenepal naval vessel. Show you. Okay. These are Tenepal naval vessels. 2,000 tons.
Big boys. Yeah, those are big boys.
Yeah. This is their standard naval vessel. Oh, they do have some.
They like missiles and torpedoes.
Right. Yes. And they've got small railgun bays. They have 4 of those. So the thing about a bay is you got to figure that's not one railgun. That's a whole bunch stuffed in. It's like a Gatling gun. It's just one barrel with many guns in it. So yeah, these are 2 of these have now shown up.
Would those railgun bays account for the bombardment on the planet?
I mean, you could. Let me.
I'll have a couple I'll have a couple of my physicists start doing math.
Well, I don't think the
I
Tenepal.
don't think the railgun bays are big enough.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think that you would immediately go to the idea that the Tenepal would attack themselves. But weapon screens for my bay weapon. There we go. So bay weapon. For more destructive power than provided by a turret or barbette, weapons bays allow ships to concentrate a lot of fire from a single weapon system. However, they do not have the fast tracking systems found in turrets and consequently find smaller targets harder to score hits on. Bay weapons are strictly reserved for military and rarely, if ever, found on civilian craft. So, I mean, yeah, these things they could be used. I mean, for um, uh, ground-based targets, of course. They do fire actual physical munitions, so they wouldn't have they wouldn't have as much damage reduction as a energy weapon would, like a particle beam or whatnot, because particle beams
right.
and lasers diffuse in the atmosphere.
These weren't anything ferrous that would have.
Right, right. Well,
could be tungsten.
yeah, I mean, whatever hit the colony was definitely ferrous, but it looks more from the ground perspective. It looks more akin to a large asteroid that started to break up in the atmosphere, but it was definitely aimed. And so basically, as it broke up, all those pieces just kind of shotgunned this colony.
Right, I'm just trying to determine like how would one steer an asteroid out of planet. I mean, is that uncommon or is that something people regularly do? Or
oh yes, you're asking the right questions, my friend. So you as this thought process is jumping into your mind. So the bridge has informed you that 2 Tenepal vessels from Tenepal Alliance have shown up, and they are approaching Lucky Find. They are still, of course, out at the 10 diameter jump limit, so it'll take a little bit of time for them to come in. Bristling with guns they are, but thrust-wise, they're not great.
oh yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Pappy and Bocephus down on the surface. So you guys down on the surface, Pappy and Bocephus have taken survivors back to the Destinex. Randolph and Mel, you're still down here on the surface. What did you want to do? Is there anything else you want to do?
Gonna get the survivors out of here. Do we have any seismic sensors?
That's a really good question. See here.
It'd be nice to leave something back that could check to see if there's any seismic activity after this added energy.
Well, I mean, Deepnight, the Deepnight Scout. So Destinex has advanced sensors. It has a mineral detection suite and deep penetration scanners. I would think that those 3 things all together, you could check for seismic activity. I would imagine. So if you want to, either you or Mel, whoever wants to, if you want to make a electronic sensors plus uh, intellect or education check, I would allow that.
Let me see what that roll would be for me. I don't have sensors.
Do you have sensors?
No, I have comms. I don't have sensors.
So it would be 0 plus your
I
intellect
got a
or
6.
education. So on a 6, yeah, so you are detecting that there is some seismic activity in the immediate vicinity around where this asteroid hit. You're guessing that after the initial impact, what the sensors are telling you is that after the initial impact, it did trigger several earthquakes. And what you're picking up on the sensors now is reading that these are kind of aftershocks as the ground is settling after that massive of an impact.
I suggest we leave the planet, take these people back up, maybe to the 2 naval ships that just showed up.
Yeah, how
Right.
convenient.
I'm trying to figure out if there's any way from the ground to figure out any indication. But it's a giant rock. It's not like they planted their flag on top of the fucking asteroid and then dropped it out of the place. I can't think of a way from the ground to determine who dropped it. So
Hacking the droids.
not that.
Yeah, I already checked the droids. At least I looked at the programming last week.
Right. And so when you looked at the programming, you did, you picked up clear indications that whatever programming is in here is obviously corrupted badly. And it looks like the droids that you have interfaced with obviously were after they had been destroyed. The whatever has caused the corruption, you are seeing there was evidence of corruption before you blew the crap out of them. It looks like this corruption um, has been there a long time and compounding, as it goes on.
Okay, and there's no evidence of mold on the inside of this body by chance, like say on the circuit boards.
You go ahead and make an investigation plus intellect.
Where they have that? Come on.
You don't find any physical signs that there's mold.
The expected payoff on 2d6 is 7, and I'm not sure I've rolled above 7 yet.
I know, right? Yeah. So you didn't find you're not. I mean, you go over this pretty much with procedurally. These guys have a pretty good um, plan of going over everything with a fine tooth comb. Make sure there's no mold anywhere, and you don't find any. And you're not seeing that there's any sign that these are tied to. You're not seeing any physical evidence that these are tied to the Deepnight entity.
Okay.
Not visually.
Oh. All right, then to the Batcopter.
Okay. Well, it looks like Mel is flying tonight.
Son of a. Yep. You got it.
So, Mel, you can go ahead and make a piloting starships plus. I don't know he's having there it is. Piloting starships plus Dex check.
Well, I've got small. This is a small craft, right? This is not. All right.
This would be starships.
Damn. I chose the wrong one. Then I was just going to go with this one. Try that. Yay! I beat the meat.
Not a problem. You are, of course, able to lift off without any difficulties. And as you are taking off, just as you engage the lifters, the ground kind of rumbles and shakes once more from one of these aftershocks. And Randolph, on the sensors, you're registering that this is a 4.0 minor earthquake, but it is enough that some of the buildings that are already precarious just collapse further. And Mel lifts you guys off into the atmosphere. You get into the atmosphere in like what 45 seconds.
Get us out of here, dude.
As you are just breaking atmosphere, more things to copy.
Somebody shoots at us.
No, they don't shoot at you. So I guess Randolph is currently on sensors. So Randolph, you pick up a radiation spike. You can go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus education or intellect check.
I don't like the sound of this. Radiation?
Well, I mean,
Oh.
space is filled with radiation. This was enough in a singular location that your sensors
Six.
left. So you detect that there is another incoming jump. And this time, you are detecting that there are 2 Sovereigndom naval vessels that have just jumped into the system.
Oh, we're gonna have a war.
It's gonna get a little chippy.
And they are, I mean, at this distance, because they are out, of course, at a 10 diameter jump limit. At this distance, they're going to be, you're not even able to bring up, shape. But they are pinging as one vessel is from the Extisal Sovereigndom of Extisal. The other one is pinging as being from the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli. And the current vessel that
Are
you're
they
dealing
shooting
with,
each other?
they are not. They are not. There he is. So you guys are making your way back to to the you're making your way back to Revelation. Just out of curiosity, Mel. So you've got thrust 4. What are you? You've got up to thrust 4. How fast are you heading back? I mean, are you flooring it or?
Well, I don't think we're big enough to engage any of these craft. So I think I'm going to seek the safety of the much larger ship with the giant guns.
Okay, so you're getting there as
I'm
fast
gonna
as
move it.
possible. Okay, so you are zipping right along. All right, so Sarda, have you given some thought as to where you would like to tour next?
Let's start heading towards the bridge since it sounds like ships are heading into the system that might make things exciting.
Okay. I'm going to, just so we know where you are at. Do that. So you lead this the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli delegation with correct point of contact to the bridge, and you come into the bridge, And there is a flurry of communications that the captain and first officer are. They basically have it on overhead speakers, and there are basically accusations flying back and forth between the two Tenepal naval vessels, the two newly arrived Sovereigndom's vessels, and coming from the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli's vessel, and the two Tenepal alliance vessels appear to be beginning to maneuver into combat positions. And of course, the two Tenepal vessels are moving into combat positions, and the two Sovereign vessels are doing the same.
Perhaps we can all sit down and talk before guns need to be fired.
So, correct point of contact is, please allow me to contact my vessel. I'm sure that I can. I'm sure that I can say something that will slow this inevitable process down.
Inevitable and very expensive process.
It could be very expensive. Yes. So the comms office, con ops goes ahead, or com ops goes ahead and puts through a call to the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli naval vessel, and you of course understand him. He's speaking strictly in Erline. He makes an emphatic order that he first tells them to order the Tenepal ships to keep their distance. So he's setting up an exclusion zone. The problem that you pick up is that his exclusion zone doesn't just include his own ship and your ship. It also includes Lucky Find. And he then tells them that only warning shots are to be fired to keep them away from our exclusion zone.
Do we have a contact with a Tenepal, or are we just going to hope for the best to call him direct?
You certainly could
We have Tenepal on board.
Yeah, let's call those ships up.
Okay. So and I'll go. Yeah. So this is kind of what this is looking like at the moment. So you get a hold of the Tenepal, and the Tenepal alliance vessels are pretty much livid. They are. Keep in mind, these guys, they don't know what the fuck is going on. They just showed up, and so they are. Their immediate reaction is that that the Sovereigndoms are here to either enslave everybody in their colony or to take it over, and they are here to defend Tenepal sovereignty. Basically, this is a Tenepal colony, and they're not going to give it up.
We welcome your participation in an investigation of what appears to have been...
We welcome your participation in war games!
No, in an investigation into a tragedy that occurred on this colony. It looks as if asteroids were destroy the colony itself. We're attempting to determine what caused that.
Go ahead and make a diplomat plus social.
Be happy to butcher this roll.
Yeah, go for it. That ain't bad.
I'll take that. Nice.
So the Tenepal naval commander, and I can tell you who that person is. So the Tenepal, actually, I don't have a name for that individual person. The Tenepal naval commander, um, he
His name
tells
is Tenny Tenny.
you're close. He tells you that um, they will agree to keep their distance, but he has some serious problems because he's seeing that the vessel from the Sovereigndom-of-Ernli has set up an exclusion zone around their colony, and that transgression will not abide, and he states matter of factly that if they are fired upon, they will return fire.
Well, I would hope they did.
Let me see if we can't get them to change their border. So I'll turn to the what's his name?
Oh, correct point of contact.
Yeah, I'll turn to correct point of contact. I'll say, is there any chance that you could not protect the area around their colony? I mean, it is their colony, and it does seem kind of impolite to declare their colony yours.
So he immediately starts to, um, scoff and well, I've never this was our colony. We were here before they were. Sarda, make a recon plus intellect check.
Sure. Yeah.
So you kind of out of the corner of your eye, you see this this vessel has changed course and is heading for this world. This vessel is maintaining its aggressive stance and is still approaching the Tenepal naval vessel.
So how big are those things?
I clicked the wrong button. Thankfully, it wasn't the terrible button. Good enough. These are Sovereigndom naval vessels. 900 tons.
That sucker's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got 3 medium torpedo bays.
Those civilian grade sensors aren't going to stop all those missiles incoming.
No, no, probably not.
Or the torpedoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys like their ammunition-based weapons. But yeah, one of them is breaking
And
off.
what about this other planet that they're headed to?
They're heading for this little rock ball down here. Meanwhile, on the Destinax, you're kind of seeing all this fleet movement going around. It looks like the situation has definitely gotten a lot more interesting since last time you were up here. Mel, are you just making a beeline for Revelation?
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say I don't unless someone can convince me otherwise. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Randolph, you can go ahead and make if you want to try and get a closer. I mean, this planet is going to be beyond 50,000 kilometers, but you can go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check.
Let's see if I can get more than 6. 7.
I think you did. At this,
I don't get much.
yeah, you don't get a whole lot at this range. What your assistant, the computer assistant that operates, of course.
Do I get more for the ship?
That's true. You get another 2. So,
That's a 9.
but still at this distance, you're not getting
I'm not going to get much.
You're not getting a whole lot. But what is being analyzed at this distance is that this is a very, very warm planet.
One would think so, being that close to a solar even.
But the analysis says that there is a high probability that this would be a good plant to be mined. And it goes so far as to say that it would like if there is resources, because the planet is tidally locked, they could be relatively easy to mine out of the temperate zone around the equator, or around the central axis of the world. I was going to say equator, but that's not exactly true, because one half that equator is going to be really, really, really hot, because it goes this way, not this way. So yeah, the other thing that you pick up with your sensors, you pick up a launch from this Sovereigndom ship, and it looks like, on your sensors at this range, it looks like a missile, but they're aiming it for this world.
Well, that's strange. Hey guys, there's something strange going on. I think they launched well, it looks like a missile, but maybe it's got a commando inside and they're going to invade.
The hell world. We claim this. So, Mel, go ahead and make another piloting Starship plus Dex check for docking procedures.
Be the first man to plant a flag on Mercury and then die horribly.
Yes.
That's mine.
So I will say, when I chose the small craft specialty, I was thinking shuttles like this. Not when I saw a starship, I thought it'd be more like
You know what? You can
our primary ship.
You haven't been playing for very long. If you want to change small craft to Starcraft or Starship, you certainly can.
I certainly appreciate helping
because
the newbie out.
There's basically only 3 specialties. There's Starship, there's small craft, and then there's capital. And
small craft is 100 tons or less.
Right. Well,
Okay.
99 tons or less.
That's true.
Well, no, that's not true, because I guess it is 100 tons or less, because there are some small craft up to. Well, no, I guess that would still count as a.
No, I think they're 99 tons. They
Yeah.
got a 99-ton shuttle.
Well, now you, damn it, Glenn. Now you have me wondering. So if you're piloting, let's say that you are piloting a system defense boat. It does not have a jump drive.
So
Is it because the skill for StarCraft is specifically for something that has a jump drive? Would you use small craft, or would you use
it's over 100 tons. I'd use Starcraft.
Starship? Yeah. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. You found a gray area.
It just comes down to tonnage.
Right. Right.
It may be oversimplified, but that's what I read.
And maybe I incorrectly assumed that the craft that we were going down to the planet on, I forgot how big our capital ship was.
Yeah.
So I
That's,
kind of assumed that it's kind of a small, like Star Trekky kind of shuttle, but no, it's a big fucking ship.
yeah.
So,
This is my fault. So the original idea for these guys. So everybody that's on this team are all given the rank of commander, and
We're lieutenant colonels.
uh, I know that it's um,
In real language, in real ranks, not this Navy stuff.
there it is. So essentially, everybody is a commander, and they are a part of. They are all mission officers. They are basically um, the leaders of the mission division, and the real idea behind this was that um, they were given pretty much. There are only two of these Deep Night scouts aboard Revelation, and the capability of the Deep Night Scout, of course, is that it can jump. I think it can jump twice, if I remember correctly. Deep Night Scout. It's, no, it's only one. Okay, so it can jump. Oh no, J2 twice. So it can jump. It can do two jump twos, and so the idea is that they could be in a system, and these guys could get onto this scout and jump 2 parsecs away and come back, or rendezvous within another 2 parsecs with Revelation. And so the real idea for these guys is that they are kind of the first in, last out special missions crew. They are, and the reason why they were picked for it is because many of them have previous experience dealing with the Deep Night entity. They've run into it twice, and both times weren't good. They did actually have a run in a third time since the actual mission, the actual Deep Night Revelation mission has started. But prior to Revelation, they had encountered it twice, so they were kind of encouraged to join up. Sorry, one of my windows went. There we go.
Oh, goody! I get to watch Hellboy again.
Hooray! So, Mel, yeah, you are able to go ahead and you dock with Revelation, and they've got a lot of automation that goes on with the docking pods and whatnot, but you are able to dock, and you're brought in, and it seems like everybody, all of the deck crew, are all pretty nervous. Now, of course, across
Well, they saw how he flew before, so it's understandable.
they're not nervous about your docking. They are. So I mean, you got a 10 on your roll. You only needed a 6. So I mean, yeah, you docked it beautifully. No, they all of the crew seem to be in a stressful situation about these other ships that have shown up. Everybody's kind of, on yellow alert. Things haven't gone pear-shaped yet, but there's a lot of people that are quite nervous about this. Now, you have to keep in mind that Deep Night Revelation, it is a private corporation. Deep Night Exploration LIC is a private corporation. It did have a lot of government backing from the Third Imperium, of course, especially about the entire idea of why you were going on this mission, the primary goal. But in fact, it's a top secret mission. The public doesn't know why you're going on this goal. They think that you are just going out to explore the deep black, and it's the greatest exploration mission that mankind has ever embarked upon. That is partially true, but that is really a secondary objective. the idea, and you've dropped a number of beacons behind you. The idea being that there is supposed to be a follow-up mission coming behind you that will follow these beacons. But your revelation is really the spearhead of this. Most of the crew, I mean, yeah, there's a couple of people on the crew that have, a military background or naval service, but a high majority, a high percentage of the crew are civilians. They worked, you know, they have dock experience because they worked on a high port, or they were, you know, they worked on a trader or what have you. These are regular Joes. They aren't Marines, and they're very nervous about this possibly getting into a shooting situation. So far, they've been lucky. Nobody's shot at Revelation yet.
Yeah, well, we ought to take and put a lock on the closest enemy ship with the spinal tap.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, so meanwhile on the bridge, the Sovereigndom of Elhi is still approaching the Tenepal naval vessels.
I thought your ship was going to fall back.
He's dead.
And so, correct point of contact, he says, he tells you that that Sovereigndom vessel is merely moving into a position to escort those Tenepal vessels to our colony. And
This
Good luck.
was a colony of Tenepal civilians. I'm not going to argue the planet or the planet's history.
he says, no.
I'm going to say that the people that died down there were Tenepal civilians, correct?
He says they may have been, but they were there illegally.
Well,
And
let them come and gather their dead.
A message comes in to Deepnight Revelation, and it is a legal document stating that the what does it say exactly? It says. It says that the Sovereigndoms were here many years before the Tenepal even showed up.
I don't care. I'm talking about the asteroid fall that happened weeks ago. These are their dead. Let them gather their dead.
And he says, but they're here illegally. They need to get off
Let
of
them
our world.
gather their dead.
And you're now picking up a beacon coming from this world, showing and it is a Sovereigndom's beacon that is basically claiming ownership of this planet. And correct point of contact says, the Tenepal are here illegally. We own this entire system.
We just watched you drop the little flag on that planet. I don't care. Ultimately, we don't care whatsoever. We are passing through, and you are little gnats in our way. And so what we'd like is for you to allow these people to collect their dead.
Make a diplomat plus social, and you get a +1 to that.
$11.
Nice. So he says, well, I don't know that we're little gnats. We can hold our own. But he says, I will lower the exclusion zone. And he gives an order to his ship, and they do lower the exclusion zone to only encompass his vessel and Deepnight Revelation. This ship gets a bit closer, and this Tenepal vessel opens fire on them as a warning shot. It is obvious that they are not trying to hit them, but they are warning them away.
Now, can you please ask your ship to back down?
And so he gets on the comms and he contacts his vessel. He orders their other vessel to back off. The Tenepal vessels, another flurry of communication is happening. There is basically aggressive grandstanding talk. Make another recon plus intellect.
Sure. Nice.
Alright. Just clicked on the window I was already in. Boy, I'm batting 1,000. Out of your eye, because you're you're kind of looking over at the sense ops as this guy is trying to tell his people to calm the fuck down. Out of the corner of your eye, you detect another incoming jump. And this time, you detect it is obviously a Sovereigndom's vessel, but is much bigger. Probably to the tune of about 3,000 tons. And it's moving really slow, but it's way out at the edge of the system, and it is coming in directly for Lucky Find.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're gonna orbital bombardment means that there's no pollution left, that they can bring their colonists down, they can resettle. They just have to deal with the winter for a bit.
The Tenepal ships, of course, recognize this ship and are immediately calling Deepnight Revelation and claiming that this is a Sovereigndom invasion of their colony, and they are starting to maneuver to try and head this large 3,000-ton Sovereigndom ship off.
I'll radio back and I'll just basically say, yeah, it likely is. They claim, though, that this was their colony before you even settled here. And so I think it's a good idea that we maybe have a parlay, an actual meeting. Is there a representative that can represent Tenepal interests as we have maybe a discussion rather than engaging in a possibly a long war that has long-term effects?
So
Don't we already have somebody from Tenepal that's with us?
You do, and you guys rescued a survivor who is exactly that. He tells Mel and Randolph that that he is his title would be he who speaks for Lucky Find, and then there's some additional syllables that are tacked onto this title that the translator for Mel and Randolph can't really make out, but to an Anglic speaker, it comes out sounding like Tenzin. So his name, as far as you can understand, he's Tenzin, and he is the one who speaks for the Lucky Find colony.
So we have what appears to be the Tenepal governor for Lucky Find on our ship.
Essentially, yes.
Survived.
Essentially, yes.
And he can probably talk for Tenepal. I suggest that we actually ask the Sovereigndom to to see if they have any historical data on them cleaning this planet before.
So why don't we have the sovereign ships go protect their colony ship? I mean, clearly it's an objective that they would have. It also de-escalates things a bit because I'm pretty sure the Tenepal do not intend to attack the sovereign colony ship, but you know, let's de-escalate and have a discussion about what happened here.
So yeah, you've got a rep aboard. The
Of course, he
course.
had to go through decon just in case.
Yeah,
the yes,
you had him sitting in the airlock for an hour before you
Yes.
let him on the Decidex. So
right. So the on the bridge, correct point of contact gets off the comms with his vessel. His title has now changed to Righteous Claim Champion.
all right.
And again, in his case, there are some additional syllables that are tacked onto this. That he essentially, in Anglic, the closest that you can get to is that his name sounds like Chizaic. And so Chizaic, who was previously known as Correct Point of Contact, tells you that he will speak for the Sovereigndoms.
Excellent.
So ask the governor. We need to ask the governor if there was actually if they discovered any evidence that this planet belonged to somebody else.
So the governor tells you absolutely not. He says, now keep in mind, he tells you that the Sovereigndoms that the Sovereigndoms have never been on this world. It boils down to that they are greedy, grasping, and untrustworthy. You should ignore everything they tell you, and that Lucky Find is our home, and that means we own the whole star system because we have been living here for years now. And that is his claim. He says the Sovereigndoms were not here. They're lying.
So it asked the sovereign rep, what is proof of your prior claim to this planet?
So he gives you this legal document. You can roll advocate plus intellect or education, or I would allow you to roll admin plus intellect or education. Your choice. Okay.
12 on advocate.
So you go over this Sovereigndom document, and it is many pages, but the summary of this you're able to kind of go through. What is your what rank is your advocate?
It is untrained, but it's 0. It's at 0. Skill rank 0.
Okay, so yeah, you're at least confident enough. You can pick the bits and pieces out of this that are relevant, and with a 12, you look at this and you're like, this was cooked up in the last hour. This is all bullshit. They claim that they have explored all of the other planets in this system. They claim the gas giants is theirs, and that they have been planning this 3010 colony ship. According to this legal document, which has been recently amended, you note, that this Sovereigndom colony ship has 20,000 colonists that have been in low berth, and this was planned months and months in advance, and if not years in advance, and that they are coming to Lucky Find to establish a colony, and the Tenepal are usurping their sovereignty of this system.
Does the document include X1 on the document? Because we just saw that thing land and claim it.
It does. It does. They claim that probe has always been there, and that
So I'm gonna say this is patently ridiculous. We watched that probe land and fired that off. This document is clearly been printed in the last hour.
That ship was simply sending out a probe to make sure that our beacon of ownership was still in orbit around the planet.
That is ridiculous. You know it. This is a brand new document. This is worth nothing.
I'm going to go talk to the captain in the XO.
Okay, so Mel, what are you? You guys are still in the docking or in the hangar. What are you doing, Mel?
I'm deconning.
Well, I think
That part of the standard operating procedure to sit in the contaminate the entire time.
We have to get decontaminated. So we're all sitting here having a UV
you would have
suntan.
you would have decontaminated getting on the Destinex.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah. You would have gone through decon. You guys are decontaminated. I would think that by this point, you know, tech level 15, you've made some advances in your decon, but UV light is still not 100% sure of getting rid of the fungus among us.
Okay. Well,
one would think
there's not a lot I can do from the docking base. I think I'm going to start heading towards the bridge. I don't have any authority up there, but what the fuck? That seems where the action is probably going to be.
Well, you actually have more say on the bridge than you might think. I mean, you are one of the commanders of Mission Division. I mean, your voice holds a lot of weight. So you and Randolph, and I assume you're taking what's his nuts? Tenzin with you?
Tenzin. Yeah.
That's his name, Tenzin. Although what's his nuts were.
I'm going to go see the XO and the captain.
Okay, so you are heading up to the bridge. You guys get to the bridge, and Sarda is standing there with that grim Sarda look of just absolute annoyance of having to deal with these a-holes on his face. And the captain is watching everything in a manner of definite concern. May perhaps bordering on quiet panic. The XO, on the other hand, the XO actually has actual Imperial naval combat experience. And he's grinding his teeth, and you guys can tell that he's just waiting for somebody to shoot. He's like, go ahead.
Make my day.
Do it.
You feel lucky?
Give me a reason. So the bridge is a little bit tense at the moment. Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check. While you're making those rolls, I'll be right back.
I wonder, since I'm a trader by heart, that's with a D, not with an IT.
I got a 9.
Who wants to pay us the most for this fucking planet?
Well, they're definitely going to have to find a different region to park at, because I would suggest you not park where the earthquakes are.
Okay. So what'd you guys? So it looks like Randolph got a 9. Sarda got a 12.
12.
Jeez. Mel got
Jacket.
7. All right. So Mel doesn't really notice anything. Sarda and Randolph you note that these Tenepal vessels, or one of the Tenepal vessels, is on an intercept course for this colony ship. The colony ship, I mean, it is what it is. It is big, it is lumbering, and
Does it have more than half a G?
it's got like 1G, but it is big and it is lumbering, and it is your guess that even if it wanted to, it could not. It could not get out of the way fast enough if something were to get in its path. As this vessel is approaching, this Sovereigndom vessel, because it is approaching the colony ship, fires warning shots.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest that Tenepal naval vessel continue towards us and away from the sovereign colony ship.
Yeah, one of the Tenepal vessels is heading towards you.
The other one needs to as well. And I will. I'll tell that to whoever the base commander here.
The governor.
Governor, I'll have you radio them because you need to let them know what's going on. And if that naval vessel stays where it's at, we're going to have a battle.
This Tenepal vessel that's approaching you launches a ship's boat, sending you some additional representatives to assist Tenzin in his position. They do tell you that Tenzin, they recognize him as governor of the colony, but they basically tell you Tenzin's not really
military.
He's not a diplomat. He's not a politician.
He doesn't have control of your boats. Your ships.
Right.
I understand
And
that.
so they're sending two aides to assist him, so that he's kind of up to date on things. But they are radioing this other Tenepal naval vessel, requesting that it back down, that it stop. The response from them is that we cannot allow this invasion ship to land on our planet. Now,
I suggest to the captain and the XO, it might be time for us to go to general quarters.
You can prevent it from landing on its planet from back here.
Does anybody have the tactics skill?
I have naval tactics.
Perfect. Randolph, go ahead and make a naval tactics check.
Is there anything else with it that goes I can use?
Naval tactics plus intellect or education.
Well, it's only going to be one of my shitty rolls. I get a 9 anyway.
Perfect roll. Sarda, you can make an advocate plus intellect or education. You get a +1 from Randolph, kind of feeding you some information. Nice. So you guys both smoked it. So essentially, what Randolph, what occurs to Randolph is that if this colony ship, let's say that
it's been coming for at least a week.
Well, let's say that Chazaic isn't lying, and that there are 20,000 colonists in low berths, or that are just now being woken up. That's 20,000 people. That if they dump them on this planet, the only way to get rid of them would be a massive military operation. The second part of that then occurs to Sarda is that not only that, but any future legal dispute would be almost impossible with that kind of population, because the population of Lucky Find, originally before they were most of them dead, was only about 10,000. Now, there are very few legal precedents in charted space, which you obviously are not in, but you can use that as a background, where a world has essentially multiple governments. Those systems are generally considered. You need to be cautious. A lot of them are yellow zones, and they're usually flagged as balkanized because none of those nations get along with one another, and that's what you would be essentially looking at here. But um, uh, there's no legal precedent to say that it can't happen. It's just generally not a wise choice. Usually, when that happens, it turns this a solar system into a potential battleground.
Why did we come here originally?
You were
Came
asked
here,
to check
we
on
got
this
it.
this destroyed colony.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, they lost contact. They were
Yeah.
and we volunteered to come see if they were still alive.
Yeah, I wasn't here that day. That's fine.
Right.
All
Well,
right.
In his defense, Wes wanted to use the spinal mount weapon day one.
Oh, sure.
he just wanted to shoot that
I
sovereign
tend
ship.
to agree. I tend to agree because these guys are hostile.
They are. Yeah. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say hostile. They are
if you
aggressive
show
pains in
any
the ass.
weakness at all, they
the-
assume that you're
the-
weak.
So the real problem is this shit. And that's not just shooting a ship down. That's genocide.
Right, that's 20,000. If they're colonists, that's 20,000 civvies. Yeah,
There's
that's a war
nothing
crime.
stopping us from doing a warning shot
Yeah, that's
just
what,
to see how big this
No,
thing
but
fucking
I'm going to
is.
talk to the captain and the XO, and I'm going to say, due to the circumstances, we need to be able to defend ourselves. And I assume that we go to general quarters and man our weapons. No other reason to keep. I mean, this other ship is really close. If they try to fire at us, what are we going to do?
I just want to convey to the other captain of the Tenepal ship that if he wants to prevent the colony ship from landing on the planet, he can do so by falling back. But if he
That's
goes
fine.
forward,
And that doesn't
sovereign
contradict
ship-
what I'm saying.
I just want him to realize that the sovereign ship thinks he's threatening the colony ship and he is provoking a battle. But if he falls back, he can continue to defend like he's in and not threaten an immediate battle.
And the Sovereigndom will view that as weakness.
the sense ops, you can hear a beep, 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 beep coming from his console, and sense ops says, we're detecting another incoming jump.
God damn it.
So did we go to general quarters?
Yeah,
No,
the XO agrees.
Our going to general quarters has nothing to do with the other ships. We can do that to be safe without putting any other pressure on the other ships.
The incoming vessel... Whoop. Keep losing. Give him 1 second, he'll be back. So the incoming jump is an Erline General Service starship. These have to move a cat.
Well, now we have an Erline.
These show you. These are big boys too. This is a 3,000 ton ship. Everybody can make a recon plus intellect check.
I didn't get it.
Sarda got it.
Mel
I
got it.
assume this ship is not from the Sovereign.
No, this is from the Erline world. Everybody's here.
That means everybody's here now.
Mel and Serta, the first thing that immediately jumps out to you is that this 3,000 ton Erline General Service ship is damaged. It is emerging from jump space damaged, trailing smoke. And the next thing that comes through, from the comms is a Erline distress call, what you would know as Signal GK, or the Soleimani would do it, SOS. They are giving out a distress call, and they are saying that their ship is under attack. Hold on here. It says specifically.
Like you just jumped in.
It's a garbled transmission. The ship is under attack from within by the traditional enemy.
Does that make any sense to me?
Probably not.
All
I
right.
mean, you're able to translate that it is the traditional enemy in quotes, but as to what that exactly means,
Do we have anybody on board that might know it, Erline?
well, you do have a Tenepal and a Tenepal delegation and an Erline Worlds delegation.
So yeah, so we'll just
Let's
basically
ask
mention the message, and maybe we need to have the Destinex go rendezvous.
As soon, right after that garbled transmission, their comms go dead, and this ship appears to be out of control. It is tumbling, listing badly and rolling, and at full thrust, heading towards Lucky Find. And it appears to be not under manned control.
We're gonna probably need to go intercept that ship.
Pretty much the arrival of the general service ship does cause the rest of the vessels to kind of stand down, and the comms kind of go very quiet.
Traditional energy enemy, I'm going to guess, are the robots. Could be.
Dun dun dun.
So if you two diplomats want to get to the bottom of this, why don't you join us on our smaller ship?
Yes. Chazaic basically says, "Lead the way. We want to get to the bottom of this as much as anybody else." And he says, "I don't know who the Erline World's traditional enemy is, but we should find out, because perhaps they're the ones that dropped a asteroid on our colony." And Tenzin kind of pipes in and says, "Yes, why don't we go over there and ask them who the traditional enemy is?
Perfect.
Perhaps it's the Sovereigndoms."
Perfect. Let's all go.
Okay.
We might need a computer with really good intrusion software if we can get it for this.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Just because hacking our way into the airlock is probably going to be the best.
I mean, for the most part, anything for software, anything.
I just had an interesting thought. We should let the Sovereigns take this planet so the robots can nuke them again.
Anything in the computer section starting on page 67 of the central supply catalog would be available to
All right.
you guys.
Cool. Well, okay. Well, I just want a computer with as good intrusion as I can get.
So you probably already have a portable computer, I would think.
Yeah, but I don't have intrusion loaded on it. It's typically very illegal, since it's really only used for hacking systems, and so my personal portable computer doesn't have it loaded.
Yeah, you could get intrusion software.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because hacking our way to an airlock is probably better than cutting our way into an airlock. if we could do it.
So the highest that you could get, because the highest, so portable computer /5 is tech level 14. So that would mean that I mean, you could run TL15 intrusion software, but it's going to take up.
Yeah, no, it's be ridiculously take a lot.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of processing power.
So probably looking at, was it level 2 then
You
instead?
could do intrusion 3 TL13.
What?
Yeah, that'd be great. How much computer power does that take?
If
I'm pulling up my companion. That's not wrong.
I want to say that on a 3, it's going to take up 2 bandwidth. But
Let me get
I might.
I don't have that book.
central supply catalog, computers and software.
Where is that? Can I get that book?
It's in Central Supply Catalog.
Yeah, it should be available to you. Let's see. So, all right. So
It says using computers. And computer /3 has processing power score of 3. This is its ability to run software.
cool. All right, and I'll grab a Expert 3 electronics computers as well.
Okay.
That's 6 bandwidth. That might be too much bandwidth. How much bandwidth could the computer handle?
So it's
It's like 5.
yeah, it would be 5. So
All right, so
you could run them one at a time though.
Yeah, but that doesn't really help because the expert's really just to give you a bonus of +1 on the hacking ability. So, all right, no problem. We'll just use the intrusion 3.
You've got a wafer jack, don't you?
I do, but I think I can only jack level 2s. Now, can I jack level 3s? I don't know. Maybe I just was too cheap to buy them.
Yeah, well.
I think I can't. I think I can.
I have a wafer jack.
Yeah, I have the wafer jack as well. Yeah, and I definitely have a bunch of wafers. But I was only going to level 2. So yeah, if I can get a computer 3, that would be fantastic for the wafer jack.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's not a big deal for them to throw an expert skill onto a wafer.
Cool.
I mean,
Awesome.
Here's your USB thumb drive, sir.
All right, so that gives me a combined +4 on hacking, and so that would give me a total of +6. I don't. What's your base computer skill? Are you above 2 with your?
Either Randolph or Mel.
Yeah,
No.
Randolph,
What was that?
your computer skill. What are you looking at? I know you have a computer skill. I just don't.
It's
remember.
1.
And then you'd get another 1 from int or education.
No,
Oh, okay. So
I
just
have no int
okay.
or education.
So
All right.
for for
they're all
Mel,
7 or 8.
So for Mel, a wafer jack, they basically is a cybernetic enhancement, an augmentation. It's essentially a USB port at the back of your skull, back of your neck, that you can plug in a wafer that can have expert programs that are good for either knowledge or intellect or education skills. And so it's essentially like the Matrix. Like
I know Kung Fu.
well, Kung Fu wouldn't apply, but you could know the basics behind Kung Fu, or the philosophies behind Kung Fu. There is an upgrade to the waferjack called a neural link that combines a small computer interface directly to the nervous system that you can then use waferjacks that include things like muscle memory. So then, yes, you could say, I'm going to slot, melee blade 3, and now you are a sword master kind of thing. So, yeah, that's essentially what he's doing here. And then, of course, the intrusion software. Anybody who ever had a Commodore 64 back in the day knows what intrusion software is. That was a staple of everything that we did with the Commodore 64. So, yes. So, okay. Mel is Lion. Mel, go ahead and make a piloting plus piloting Starship plus Dex check.
Why did that disappear from my damn screen? Plus what?
Piloting Starship plus Dexterity. Nice. Okay. So Mel approaches this Sovereigndom, or I'm sorry, not Sovereigndom, Erline ship, and this is what this thing looks like from the outside. Big, 3,000 tons. Now, normally in the very front of this thing, there is a hangar there. The doors are presently closed, but aside from the fact that it seems to be rolling. Um, it's still moving in a straight line, and it doesn't appear to be trying to. It wouldn't be trying to fight you. So if you want to try to dock with one of the airlocks, that is certainly an option, which would just be a flat, a flat routine 6+ check for piloting plus deck, assuming that's what you want to do. Now, do you guys? So you're approaching this thing at thrust 4. What do you guys want to do? I guess is the question as you're approaching it.
Well, I'm going to put my polycarb armor on
That's
with my
probably a good idea.
With my Gauss rifle.
Might want to be in a vac suit. We don't-
Yeah, that's an even better idea.
Can we do both?
No, but you could put on your hazardous environment suit.
I think I'll do that.
Now, the hazardous environment suit, because it is bulky and designed for hazardous environments, things like operating a computer terminal or something like that is going to be at a -1. It's just not. It's just not designed for that. It'd be like trying to get into a Prius while wearing battle dress. It's just first you have to try to get in, and then.
Well, you could always use the battle dress to rip a new door in. And
surprisingly, has a lot of
just
headroom.
take the roof off and sit down on what was left.
It's not a convertible, right? Yeah.
Decisions, because I've got computer skill. Anybody else got the computer skill?
Yeah, Sarda just jacked a wafer.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the hazardous suit.
Okay. What about Mel?
I'm gonna go. My skills are. I'm gonna use vac suit.
Okay. So you're gonna go hazardous as well?
No, just a vac suit.
Just regular vac suit. Okay. And how about Sarda?
Yeah, I'm doing my normal vac suit as well, my personal vac suit.
Okay. All right. So you guys
And
are.
I'm taking my Gauss rifle. I'm taking my Gauss rifle because if we run across these robots, they have 100 points. They have 100 hit points.
So these are the deck plans for this particular vessel. Like I said, I guess 3, 4. Oh, 3 and decks 3 and 4 are both. That's good.
Are both what?
Decks 3 and 4 both have are part of the hangar.
Airlock. 15.
Yeah, let's see.
There's one on 4.
There's one. An airlock on deck 4. All right. Well, it looks like deck 4 is an airlock, right? If that's where you want to dock.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so Mel, you can make one more
So
piloting
I
piloting
guess
starship.
I'm going to do a power slide into it, right? Because I'm coming in at thrust 4, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I
I'm
would
going to
assume.
pull the emergency brake and just
Yes.
fucking
That,
power slide in.
so if you've ever seen The Expanse, they do it. They show that really well. As you're coming towards your target, they generally flip a 180 to decelerate. Um, which in a gravity-based drive, I don't know why you would have to do that. But anyways, it's
I would think a
imaginary.
gravity-based drive, it doesn't matter which way
It
which way you're pointed.
yeah, they function via hand wavium. And so, yeah, I would assume that you would have flipped the 180 and are coming in and controlling your thrust. So you just need to make a piloting starship plus dex check.
Let's see how it goes.
I'm glad you're
Fuck!
trying.
Okay.
Nice. Good thing we brought the diplomats.
Yes. Show them how it's done.
Well, we're going to have to unbend the ship when we get done.
So
It'll buff right out. It'll buff
yeah,
right out.
it's not that bad of a docking. It's a rather rough docking. But he slams up against the side of this.
I thought you traded your pilot levels. Is your dex that bad too?
He rolled snake eyes.
Right, but I mean, I was surprised he only has a +2 on his roll. That was all. I was.
So
I'm supposed to be a trader.
yeah, he's a broker. And that is going to come into heavy play. It's just you came in at a weird time. So he slams into the side of this thing, dealing 6 points of hull damage to the Desenex, but he does attach. He is locked on. The docking collar has a couple of leaks. So good thing you're in vac suits before you head over. And this door is locked.
I try to start hacking it.
There is a grid. I have it set to invisible, so the measurement tool does work.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start hacking the door, the airlock, try to get it open for us.
Okay, go ahead and make a electronics computers plus intellect for education check.
Damn it. 11's probably not gonna cut it.
Needed a 10.
No, it does not. But
I think I need a 4. I think I need a 14 anyway, frankly.
You need a 12. You need a 12 to break it.
Use a luck point. Use a luck point.
You could use a luck point.
I have 3.
I mean, it's going to be time for you to get some of the luck points that you spent.
I'd rather not. I haven't spent any. I have 3.
You only have 3 total. I have 3 total ever. I'm saving those for if my life is in Gene.
Well, I literally am. This is not going to save my life, so therefore, no, I'm not spending it on it.
So what skills do you need?
It's electronics computer.
It
takes quite a while to hack them. Otherwise, it would have taken more time, extra time.
Randolph, if you want to try to assist, you can, but keep in mind you're at a -1.
So I take a really long time.
That's the problem. I don't think we can. It takes hours to hack one of these,
right?
And so taking extra time is days,
right? Well, I mean, not necessarily, but you. So, hold on, I will tell you. What kind of time period are we looking at? We are looking at. Tell me everything.
I wish I had some intellect.
So do I. I mean, I don't have any bonus on my intellect either. I'm getting it from education. I have +1 from education, +1 to dex.
I don't have. I'm 0 both.
Activating computer program, searching database. Hacking into a secure computer
Yep.
network.
Out.
1D times 10 hours, but that's a secure computer network. I mean, you're just wanting to get this one door open. You can do that in 4 minutes, but you're having a hard time with it.
Yep.
So if Randolph wants to,
What do I have to roll
it would be electronics, computers plus intellect or education.
for an 8 or a 10 or a 12?
Well, whatever. If anything you get above 8 will add to Sardas. Basically, going to task you. Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Well, there's a
Actually,
+3 to your check.
I was worried it was going to be the other way around.
So
I crashed it.
So yeah, you take about another 4 or 5 minutes, and you are able to electronically hack this door. The inner airlock is closed, but in this airlock, you find a Erline body, and it has initial inspection of it. You see that this Erline has been cut to ribbons by laser fire.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to break for this week. However, you guys here, because you have been so patient in dealing with these a-holes in your diplomacy, everybody gets 2 XP points.
Wow.
And if you have spent any luck, it's been a while, and I know that Wes has spent some luck. I think Randolph might have spent some luck. I don't remember, but you guys get your luck is renewed.
Thank you. 2, huh?
I don't even know where the hell luck is on this sheet.
It's not.
Yeah, on the Roll20 character sheet, it's not there. So there are.
I just clicked on Prime, and on Prime you've got a lot of. I put in their character history.
Yeah, there is. And hold on, I will tell you.
I've got charm, sanity, morale, and luck there.
Right.
And
Those are the optionals, and you can roll those. It's just a raw 2D roll, and in a lot of cases, like charm, we use a lot because social is not always applicable. So you might have a high social score, but that only applies to the crew aboard Deepnight Revelation. When meeting some alien, they don't know you from Jack, and so they aren't going to. They're not going to recognize your high social ability on the ship, and so in that case, charm may actually come into effect. If that makes sense.
Okay, I now have Recon 2.
so how much luck did you say we got? 1?
So if you've spent any luck, you would get it back. So luck can.
That's
So you
good.
can spend 1 luck point. You can spend luck in 2 different ways. You can spend 1 luck point to give yourself a bonus to your roll. So if you really need to succeed and you need that 1 or 2, you can spend 1 or 2, even 3, however many luck points you want to spend. And at the end of a certain segment, I will give you you will regain those luck points back. The second way to spend it is you burn it, and essentially you burn all of your luck. And this is a situation where it is life or death, either your death or possibly the entire party's. You're going to save the entire universe, and so you're going to burn all of your luck to change that failure into a modicum of success. And in that case, it's burned, it's gone.
Okay.
3. That's what I'm doing with my 3.
That's the situation of
I have
where you hear
10, so-
their luck ran out. Well, that's what happened. Morale
I
can
got
be
10, so, I'd use it.
yeah, use it if you gotta use it. Um, Morale is used if you are doing something like you're in a system, for instance, and you guys are you're going to be there for a while because you're trying to get as much sensor data as possible, and you're taking sensor checks, for instance, and everybody has to take 8-hour shifts. You may have to actually make a morale check because this is really boring shit to do, and a morale check is going to have to be made in some cases to see if you're actually going to be able to stay on task. And then, of course, sanity. These guys have only had to make a couple of sanity checks, but there is some stuff, especially with the Deepnight entity, that you will see that is so effed up that you have to make a sanity check or go batshit for a few minutes. And then usually, if you fail that check, you'll lose a sanity point. So.
Okay.
I have a final question.
Yes.
Will a stunner do anything at all against these robots?
It's funny that you say that. The reason why I think it's funny that you say that is because Wednesday night we're playing Paranoia, and they have a gun that they call the Gauss gun. But their interpretation in Paranoia of a Gauss gun is a literal interpretation of Gauss gun. So what you would think of today, like for instance, they used Gauss guns to erase hard drives and video VHS tapes. That does direct damage to a robot.
We always call it a degaussing.
Yeah, or degaussing. Yeah. I no. I would say no because these robots, you've already seen them travel in space, and so obviously, well, I mean not obviously because their computer data is corrupted, so maybe it's not obvious, but they have some kind of shielding, or else they would just go.
They get fritzed in space.
They would get fritzed the second they left wherever they were at. So
and some of these guys were not very smart because they travel all the way across the system to attack us with handguns.
Right. Well, right. And yeah, and
but they got 100 hit points. So what can you say?
You're going to find out why they're set up that way. I'll just say that.
They don't sound overly competent in the intellect.
No, they are. Well, you'll find out.
I mean, they're damaged.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. It'll be fun next week.
Okay.
We will see you next. Oh wait.
Or week after? Is it something?
It is. I
So
think
next
we are.
week?
I think we are on for next week. Let me double check.
It'll be the 31st.
31st.
All right. I'm gonna.
Yes, we are on for next week, and it is
It's the
the
7th. Right?
that I will be gone.
Yeah, there you go. I knew you had one coming up.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for running.
You're welcome.
Yep. Thanks for everything. Yeah.
You're
I'm
welcome.
gonna
Have a good night,
take
guys.
Take care,
take my
folks.
2 points and go to diplomat.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a good one. That'll help with broker too.
I threw mine in the computer. Talk to you later. Take care.
Okay. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.